Hello everyone, this is Redact and this game is called Suzerain. So we shall resume where we left off. So we visited the school last time, I think, if I remember, and we spent all our money on giving some large corporations some tax breaks. That should sort out the recession, though we are embargoing some other nations, so we might need to reverse that at some point. But hopefully our recession will end. People will be happy. We'll be able to suppress everything that's going on internally. Stop Rumberg from attacking us. And now we can start focusing on destroying our enemies. Right, we're back. Okay, so when yeah, so I have read all of that stuff, so that's fine. So I think the only thing that doesn't save is... I don't know. Wonder what happens when I close the game down. But okay. I guess it does actually save. Right, let's make these decisions about the education. We were still in Liren, staying at a modest guest house for state employees. Ciara had set up a meeting with me and Lucian to go over plans for education reform after our school visit. Lucian was seated across from me at the table going through documents. Ciara entered the room. After the visit yesterday, I couldn't even sleep thinking about the little boy and girl. Never been more sure of my intentions to reform our education system. Lucian took up his reading glasses and put it on the table. I agree, an education reform is necessary. Exactly. Those students have to repeat the same soulish propaganda every single day. They've been brainwashed at an age where their minds need to be free. On top of that, young girls have been denied the same opportunity as boys. Yeah, we need to figure that out. Forced into the role of a housewife before they even reach puberty. Nothing's changed since I went to school. Women like me, Lilia, Sneer, even your wife, we have to study twice as hard to receive the same university education that you and Lucian took for granted. Is that the kind of country you want your daughter to grow up in? Mr. President, we need to bring change. We need to free the minds of these young people. They are our future. Very well, what do we need to do? Tell me. We need to keep politics out of the curriculum. Sol should only be viewed as a historical figure. Children shouldn't have to repeat his name every day. This is actively poisoning young bright minds. Instead of thinking for themselves, they're learning to take things at face value. We also need to ensure boys and girls receive the same education. Handcrafts like knitting and sewing should be taught to both sexes or not at all. Sordland's youth must be technically skilled and capable for the next decade. That won't be possible without the amount of nationalistic indoctrination and narrow-minded thinking found in schools today. Either we raise a generation ready for the challenges of the future or not. What will it be, Mr. President? Lucian, what do you think? Much as I respect Colonel Sol, his time has passed. Now is our time. I do think this might be the first step of a larger plan. Okay, yeah, let's reform it. You will not regret it. I will get to work immediately. Now that decision is made, let's move on. Very well. So I skimmed over our documents before continuing. With no change in budget, the ministry was left to its own devices. We made some tough choices, but still lack additional funds. Therefore, we are investigating privatising education with draw enough funds to conduct investments. Okay, what are the advantages? There aren't many, but it would give us sorely needed funds and increase competition among schools. We go against our overall economic strategy of a planned economy. A few minutes of deliberation passed. We can manage without additional funds. The only reason I want to consider it is to have more money to improve education. So what is your decision? I'm not too worried about education, really. If you're a better employed workforce, more skilled, then it should really help. Yeah, let's do privatisation. That should allow for more work, competition and quality. Will do. That should be it for now. I have to get to work and report back later. Very productive day. I should be returning to Whole Sword. Thank you for your time. We dispersed after spending nearly the entire day together. I took a moment simply to breathe the fresh air. I feel calmer here somehow, but I would have to return the chaos of Whole Sword soon enough. Okay, what happened? How did I screw up? Okay, what happened over here? Welfare. Education privatisation. aims to increase funds by allowing private interest to buy or build educational institutions. Educational reform. Government Sordland has removed nationalistic indoctrination and begun the changes that instill free thought and critical thinking. That might be a problem. They go against me. They'll all be in the oubliette. With the new education reform, plenty of new education techniques have been introduced. Furthermore, the influence of traditional teaching has been curbed. Good urban institutions. Education gap. And privatized, leading to an education gap between the rich and poor. Okay, well. Can't do much about that. Didn't have the money. Alright, what's going on? Yeah, I think we should tidy up all this. Alright. Oh, -1. What happened with the budget? I thought it was -2. What happened? Privatized education. Oh, maybe it's because I privatized it? Labour Union of Sordland rally violates curfew. It was organised by the Labour Union of Sordland. MP Katerina Horton was the leader of the protest. Okay. She was released after a while. Shouldn't be doing any protests. Not at the moment anyway. What's going on here? Read the report from Holstead. 2,660 dismissed for links to terrorist groups. State employees were sacked for alleged links to terrorist groups under the emergency decree. Yeah, more jobs for other people. Ministry of Education has started work on education reform. She's begun the working on the approved education reform. Details will be finalised over the upcoming months. Reform package is accepted. The next steps of the process will be to discuss the indoctrination of education. And United Contaro launches second satellite. Okay. Cold War going on there. What's going on in the news? Radical. Terrorists being dealt with. Tens of thousands of terrorists and collaborators have been arrested after the declaration of emergency. Links to local journalists. The nearest statistic for the total number of terrorists in prison now comes to 20,321. The state of emergency, which President Rain said was necessary and fully in line with Sordland's constitution, able to take swift action against terrorists that wreaked havoc across the country. Surely with the elimination of terror, stability will return soon enough. It will. I'm in charge. Radical. Tens of thousands of demonstrations driven out of the city centres by riot police. Government crackdown on protests around the world was swift and brought an end to the chaos in major cities such as Holstead and Lachhaven. Reports from mayors around the country came in today saying the law protests are under control and stability will return. It will. Another promise broken. Yet again, breaks for another promise. His promise to lead the country in a planned economy system is in shambles. Why? Because he decided to privatise the entire education system. Guess who would be the winner here? The oligarchs. Maybe you're seeing the pattern here. From the looks of it, he's going down the road of Alfonso. We know where that path leads. Had to do it. And by some quirk, it saved me money. So I'm all for that. Doesn't look so bad now. Alright, let's continue then. I don't think there's anything else going on. Nothing flashing at me anyway. Balance of power in Eastern Macopa. Alright, what happened? Religious Harmony Bill. Read the report from Holstead. Okay, what's going on? Religious Harmony Bill. What else do we have? We need to look at anything. Newspaper, obviously. Nothing. Right, let's have a look at this Religious Harmony Bill. I don't think we need to... Grand National Assembly of the Republic of Sordland. For the purposes of increasing religious harmony and unity, the following laws are established in religious affairs. Day of Dissension ceremony in the Art Sanctuary of Dea will from now on only be held sermons in the Sordish language. Section 3 will forbid sanctuaries from holding sermons in Bluedish unless they receive approval from the Archpriest of Sordland. Section 3 will enforce that all priests applying to stage sanctioned have Sordish descendants to be able to receive their salaries. Oh my goodness. Is this too much? Should we be just leaving them alone? and not like riling them up. The Ministry of Health discusses privatisation, has begun working on a health report with a proposal to allow privatisation in the health system and potentially generate new resources for the ministry. I'm not going to privatise healthcare. Sorry, I'm British, that's not going to happen. Okay, I'm just looking around to see if there's anything in the news that Rain to meet with Smolak and Van Horten. Sordland is embarking a great geopolitical gamble with new trade initiative organised by the Ministry of Trade and Foreign Affairs. To hope of solidifying a relationship with the old ally Agnola, drops the name of Relin, with the aim of regaining some regional diplomatic influence the country used to have. Where is that? Okay, that's over there. Right. So these are the constitutional monarchists. Those are our allies. They're being dicks to each other, I remember. Okay. These are different agendas, which creates some difficulties for President Rain. He wants to imagine trade for Sordland with presence of Remen is looking for new foreign investments and security cooperation against rebellious Bluetooth movements at the border. SP and Vargland are watching Sordland's actions very closely and I'm sure to rectify any sort of balance of power shift. About radical. Okay, state of Sordland's conscription laws. What year are we in? 1880s, 1920s. The matter I'm writing about is mandatory military service again. Times when there were no active wars, why do we still need to have these archaic conscription laws? Let me answer that. It's because someone profits from it. Only does this make the warmongering solace happy, also works out for large defence corporations. Regards to swimming in money, while we still have to send our children away when they come of age. In the modern age, we want to modernise Sordland and catch up to the superpowers, to lose this militaristic identity, so that we can intellectually prosper, and mandatory conscription laws need to go. Right, nothing about this religious harmony bill. I'm just wondering whether it's going to stir up even more issues. Oppression. Because we're already quite bad with... we need to get rid of that, so I'm probably not going to sign it. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's just being xenophobic in some way. If they want to do it in that language, let them. Doesn't matter. And what's going on with order? Corruption still, organised crime still, illegal immigration still. So try and sort that out. Yeah, so we're going to say no to this. I'm going to veto it. Because I have ultimate power and they have to do what I say. Don't like it. Okay, so what's going on in the news? Radical. President Rain protects religious freedoms. President Rain has recently vetoed the outrageous religious harmony bill. The aim is to limit the freedoms of the Bluish people in Sordland. The impetus to propose this bill was, of course, Casario Key-Benner, the leader of the NFP himself. He's never stopped his attacks on the Bluish people, and we're sure he will continue his racist onslaught and his attempts to further divide the country. President Rain's decision to veto this discriminatory bill was a clear attack on religious and personal freedoms. Yes, it was. And will be welcomed by Blues and Swords alike. Okay, I did a good thing. Did I do a good thing? Yes, I think I did a good thing. Anything else? I can't zoom out. Sorry, I have to do this all the time. No? Alright, let's go here. Call from Gus Manga. Alright, I guess we'll find out what he wants. Sipping my first cup of coffee for the day when the phone lit up and rang. I swore under my breath. Thought my schedule was clear for at least half an hour. Picked up the phone. Gus Manga, Minister of Rural Development. How are you doing on this fine day, if I may ask? I'm fine, and you? I was doing well until you gave me a call. Fine as well, you? I'm good, because business in Sordland is running as usual from my end. Thanks for asking. Calling you because I received a call from the CEO of Amadine Industries, Aaron Bridges, about the recent initial public offering on the Ventry City Stock Exchange. As you might have guessed, it's about a little venture investment of 1,000 fair shares worth nearly 1 million ren. Due to this trade war that is ongoing, I was told that the Armadine stock prices plunged after the IPO. The markets were very volatile right now. Don't worry, our stocks are still secure and they advise us not to sell because recovery is expected in the near future. Here we go. Well, it means you've not made any profits, and on the contrary have lost 50% of the value compared to our initial purchase. I'm sorry, Mr. President. Why are you saying sorry? It's not your fault. I knew I shouldn't have listened to your advice. You know they don't say invest, you can't afford to lose. At least we didn't invest much and have no direct losses. You're saying sorry, it's not your fault. Yeah, don't invest if you can't afford to lose it. Yeah. Wasn't Conronti the one who said that? He was a visionary for the free world for sure. Regardless, we still have a hold of our stocks. Confident once the effects of the nasty trade war subside, we will recover the value of our shares and then make large returns on the investment. I want to trust you. Yeah, is there anything else? That's all I wanted to talk to you about, Mr. President. Remind me never to do business with you ever again. Very well, talk to you later. Keep me updated on other No, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye for now. The line dropped. Right, now what? Now what? News. Armadine stocks losing value. Yeah, we just talked about that with the guy. It's fine. Still got 2 wealth. Still I'm not poor or anything. Private Party Gentlemen's Club. Briefing on the status of the immigration regulation. Okay, let's do that. In the middle of the meeting in the palace about immigration policy. The ensuing discussion quickly became heated. I don't think so, Mr. Vissi. Doesn't make sense to me that a foreign citizen should come before a Saudi citizen in Sordland. Well said. My analysis is also in line with this, especially during the economic recession. We can sort its jobs to migrants from other countries. What about our own people? So what was the illegal immigration? It's not decided how to handle increased immigration, leaving the loopholes in the system. So we need to sort that. We need to clamp down on that. But that doesn't mean that we should restrict immigrants from coming in, just not illegally. Because to be fair, if a foreigner can come to your country and take a job away from you, well, that's more of a reflection on you rather than them, really. So, very well. My analysis, yeah, okay. What about our own people? Immigrants are the reason our economy is not completely unsalvageable. Look at the Agnolian immigrants in England. They have revitalized the whole region and in turn boosted the economy of the entire country. Simon can attest to that. That's also true. Immigrants tend to work compared to actual citizens of the country. They're much more likely to work and pay tax. So, yeah. This is speaking, allowing immigrants to become part of the workforce contributes to the economy, but I agree that the current situation is very nuanced. And with that, we can't just tighten our immigration policy and expect the economy to stay the same. We need to put our economy and the recession at the forefront. No, we've already fixed our economy by dropping the tax rates, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Gentlemen, can we get back on topic? Right, sorry, Mr. Vichy. As I was saying just before I was interrupted, look at the superpowers. Do you see them closing off their borders? Why do you think their economies are in such good shape? They're in their current state because they welcome immigration and use it to their advantage. We need to modernize and reach the level of the superpowers. I agree we need to consider the economic impact of immigration. We need to modernize. We should allow them in, but control it. I'm of the same mind. It's proven that immigration helps countries to develop. We cannot just deport our current immigrants. We need a decision before we move on. Mr. President, do you have any questions about the current state of immigration? The current legal status. Currently, all accepted immigrants are given a work permit on arrival so they can work and contribute to the economy. There's currently no limit on the number of immigrants accepted. However, numbers remain stable over the past years. Just double check this again. Corruption, illegal immigration. Economy. anything here about large reservist pool, welfare, overburdened, inaccessible, inconsistent curriculum? Differences between certain governments, right? Okay, order, diplomacy. Right, so we just need to sort out the legal aspect of it, I think. Alright. Despite the laws, the fact that many immigrants illegally work for corporations, that is the main issue. Yeah, exactly. I agree with Simon on that one. Nonsense. If not for the unlimited amount of immigration, we wouldn't be in this state. How many immigrants live in Sordland? The numbers show that we have anything between 2 to 3 million immigrants residing. Even excluding the countless undocumented aliens in our midst, is a very substantial amount. Primary issue is the strife they cause between less fortunate Swordish citizens and themselves. Including them in their workforce would benefit everyone, including unemployed swords. More taxes mean more services. Yeah, they're more likely to work and contribute. How do immigrants normally arrive here? There are 3 major paths they choose. The first one is to England to the Agnolian border. The second is Bergia to the Verland border. And the third is the Lauren coast. Agnolians are the largest group. There's a light border over there. The recently political fugitives from Vargsland have been crossing the Grey Sea by boat to land on our coast. Politically persecuted Vexek refugees tend to use the dangerous mountain passes at the Vegland border. Many of them also have bluish blood. Let's move on and see what can be done about the immigration situation. Very well. David Vitchi opened his dossier stamped with the seal of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. Before we make any decisions, I have to remind you, during the elections we promised to tighten immigration laws. Of course, as you know, I was and I'm still against it. I agree with David, we can turn immigration to our advantage from a financial standpoint. Advantage, you should go over the amount of disadvantages caused by immigrants. I'll provide you with a report later. Ministry of Defence, yeah. Believe me, it would surprise you. We need to keep our promises and focus on our own citizens. That's what I think. David sighed wearily. This is going nowhere. We need to tighten immigration. What does that entail? We have to impose quotas and connect to that stricter border control. I think we should do that. On top of allowing our economy to take a hit. We already solved the recession by giving them tax breaks. Come on. Mr. Hull, surely the well-being of our citizens and internal security will more than compensate for any downturn in the markets. Agreed. Swordfish citizens should take priority. What are the consequences of keeping our immigration policy relaxed? Aside from keeping us on the path to prosperity, modernity, and continuous improvement, not much. Our current system is good for our era. We also have the capacity. This will allow us to continue protecting investments from foreign countries, which in turn keep our trade steady. We will be more trustworthy parties. Stability draws money. Stability? What stability? We've already seen clashes between our people and foreign interlopers. On the contrary, the only way we can achieve stability is through tightening our immigration policy. You heard the lady. Sordland first. Ministry of the Interior. Yeah, okay. What does David have to say? I'm ready to make a decision. Yes? Everyone lean forward, eager to hear my response. We will keep immigration laws relaxed. We'll tighten our immigration laws. I'll sign the decree soon, so be prepared to start working on it. Yeah, let's tighten up. Fortunate to see Sordland move in this direction, but I trust you have good intentions. I'll move ahead with the implementation. This has the chance to affect our trade negotiations with Magnolia negatively. They expect us to respect the flow of people. They come in legally, it's fine. Indeed, it would be a challenge to convince these countries as they see our borders close. Not only that, we've already slighted Verlin in the past. They might see this return to the 30s, which will definitely affect our negotiations. I wouldn't worry too much. With how Verlin is dealing with the Bludist terrorists, I would argue President Smolak would beg us to tighten our immigration. Exactly. They're also doing the same thing as we, so I'm not too worried about Verlin. Maybe the other guys might be a bit sad, but let's see. That said, I don't fancy Verlin as a party since they are reliable as flopping fish out of water. I'm against isolationism. It's the wrong path. It's not about isolating Sordland but protecting it. We can't let internal policy be decided by foreigners. Sordland always comes first. Yeah, we're protecting it. So it isolate us in every way. The more we are connected to the world, the better. The world is entering the age of globalization. This decision will make us stay behind. Anything else that needs to be said? Thank you for the contributions. Let's wrap this up. Let's end the discussion, get to work. There are changes to be made. Thank you for your contributions, everyone. Let's wrap this up. This is gathered their documents and rose from their chairs, some with frowns on their faces. I'm looking forward to the upcoming trade talks. Peter and I have been just visiting Starport. Oh my goodness. Rare chlorites in preparation. I'm going to go with that. I'll be coming along to talk with the economy minister. Looking forward to the potential partnership. We are finished. I need to head off and get the minister to work on the new policy. Same here. Our border units need to be informed and prepared. Yes, keep up the good work, everyone. Ministers dispersed. Okay. What's going on now? Alright, there's lots of things. Right. Some sort of report here. Read the report. Lockdown lifted. Lifted the lockdown when imposed on the city of Diev after the operations. 100 terrorists were killed. 28,000 people were detained. Supporting or working with the terrorists. Operations of workers' parties reported to be eliminated in the city. As the confident Diev will return to normal with great speed. Okay, we can start relaxing things maybe soon. What's this? Private party. Okay, we're not going to do that. What's going on here? Where do you find out? Raided. All lines raid early in the morning. Abandoned building in the city of Vesord under suspicions of hiding Red Youth members inside. Arrested 8 militants, rifles, bomb-making equipment. Good. Editor of Radicals suspected of helping terrorists. Oh! Swordist intelligence reported that John Dandern, famous journalist and columnist of the Radicals, suspected to be working for the terrorist organisation Red Youth. That's why he's such a dick. According to report, Dandern had continually published anti-government articles and repeatedly attempted to report on state secrets countless times. Okay, well he's going to jail. Over the Ministry of Justice. Restructuring of the ministry has been completed with success after the increase in budget. According to the report, a large portion of the budget was transferred specifically to help solve the backlog issues at lower courts. This already helped ease the situation. Additional efforts will be directed at fighting corruption, upholding the integrity of justice of judges, and the consolidation of the rule of law. Minister Morgner said that she intends to bring back trust to the justice system with more accessible and efficient courts. Excellent. Excellent. You haven't done anything wrong. You've got nothing to fear from me. Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll end the episode here. So next time we will go to this gentleman's club and we need to read the news articles and things like that. And we'll see what else comes out. We've got to do the trade negotiations, so we'll see how that goes. I'd like to have some sort of alliance with these guys because they're on the border with Rumberg. And also these guys are on the border, but we'll see if we can be nice with them. Have some sort of alliance against Rumberg. Not that I'm going to attack Rumberg, but I just don't want them messing with us. So we'll see how that goes next time. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Take care, everyone.